Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where we explore the rich and fascinating world of rare American coins today. We are going deep into the story of the 1981 one-dime coin, a small piece of metal that carries decades of history, economic transformation, minting evolution, and hidden value for collectors, historians, and numismatists alike. This coin might seem like just another everyday object, but behind its plain surface lies a powerful narrative of American heritage, technological shifts, and collector intrigue. And today, I will take you on an in-depth journey that unwraps all of that in the most detailed way possible, to the point that this single dime can easily become the focus of a 2-hour-long exploration into its legacy. To begin, we must understand the foundations that gave birth to the American dime. In the first place, the dime as a denomination was first authorized by the Coinage Act of 1792, signed into law by President George Washington. This act created the United States Mint and established a decimal-based currency system, which made the dime worth 1/10 of a dollar. This was a revolutionary concept at the time, especially since the United States was still trying to separate itself from British monetary traditions, which did not follow a base-10 structure from the first draped bust dime in 1796 all the way through the capped bust and seated Liberty designs. The dime has undergone multiple design and composition changes, each reflecting different eras of American identity, industrial development, and political change. By the early 20th century, the barber dime, which had been introduced in 1892, was replaced by the Mercury dime in 1916, a design that remains beloved among collectors for its artistry and symbolism. Designed by Adolph Weinman, the Mercury dime represented liberty in a winged cap, symbolic of freedom of thought, and became one of the most iconic American coins ever minted. However, by the end of World War II, a new design was needed, and this led to the introduction of the Roosevelt dime in 1946, a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had died the previous year and had been instrumental in fighting polio, a cause strongly associated with the March of Dimes, a campaign that used the dime as a symbol of charity and hope. Now fast forward to 1981, and we find ourselves in the midst of the Cold War, economic uncertainty, rising inflation, and a country undergoing dramatic changes in policy, leadership, and global influence. The 1981 Roosevelt dime was struck during the presidency of Ronald Reagan, and though it retained the same basic design elements introduced in 1946, it also began to reflect the industrial and technical constraints of late 20th century coin production. The coin was made from a copper-nickel clad composition introduced in 1965 as a response to the rising cost of silver, which had previously been used in circulating dimes. The new composition was cheaper and more durable, but it also marked a turning point in how coinage was viewed, less as intrinsic value and more as a symbolic representation of monetary policy and economic structure. The obverse of the 1981 dime features the left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt with the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," along with the year 1981 and the mint mark, which could be a D for Denver, P for Philadelphia, or S for San Francisco. The reverse of the coin continues to carry the torch, olive branch, and oak branch design representing liberty, peace, and strength, along with the national motto "E pluribus unum" and the denomination 1 dime. Though the design appears standard to the untrained numismatists, know that slight variations, mint errors, and even strike quality can make a huge difference in the coin's value and desirability. To really appreciate the 1981 one-dime coin, you must also look at the mintage numbers and distribution data. In 1981, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 676 million dimes, while the Denver Mint produced over 631 million. Both of these were for general circulation. However, the San Francisco Mint produced proof dimes as part of their annual proof sets with a mintage of just under 4.5 million. These proof coins were struck with special dies and polished blanks resulting in a mirror-like finish that appeals strongly to collectors today. Some of these proof dimes can still be found in near-perfect condition and are graded by professional services such as PCGS and NGC, sometimes fetching high premiums depending on their quality and certification level. But beyond the basic stats and minting figures, the true fascination with the 1981 dime comes from the mint errors and die varieties that occurred during its production. Some of these include off-center strikes, double dies, misaligned dies, filled dies, and clipped plankets. Each of these errors creates a unique coin that differs from the millions of normal dimes, and that uniqueness is what drives collector demand. For example, a 1981 dime with a strong obverse double die might be worth many times its face value, especially in high grade or if verified by a third-party grading service. Some 1981 dimes have also been found with repunched mint marks or weak strikes due to worn dies, which add further intrigue to their collectability. Another critical factor to explore is the coin's condition or grade. Most 1981 dimes that are found in pocket change are in circulated condition, meaning they have wear and reduced luster. However, coins that were preserved in mint sets or proof sets or pulled early from circulation can be found in mint state condition, ranging from MS60 all the way to MS68 or higher according to the Sheldon scale. Higher grades, especially with full bands designation on the reverse torch, are especially prized by collectors as they signify a fully detailed strike and high preservation. Collectors also pay attention to the context in which the coin was released. The early 1980s marked a transitional period in American history with new economic policies, technological innovations, and shifts in the global order. The coin reflects a sense of American endurance during a time of uncertainty, and that symbolic weight adds to its emotional and historical value today. The 1981 one-dime coin is not particularly rare in the strictest sense, but it occupies a unique place in the hearts of those who collect based on history, legacy, and the story behind the coin rather than just raw scarcity. We also need to consider the international view of American coinage, as many collectors around the world are fascinated with U.S. dimes, especially those from key years, proof sets, and era runs. The 1981 dime serves as a gateway coin for many new collectors, introducing them to a hobby that combines artistry, history, economics, and treasure hunting all in one. And so as we continue to explore the 1981 one-dime coin from every angle, its design, its history, its minting process, its era varieties, and its collector appeal, we begin to see how something so small can encapsulate such a vast and compelling story. A story that connects us to the past, reminds us of where we came from, and gives us a tangible piece of our national journey through time. If you have a 1981 dime in your pocket or coin jar or collection, take a moment to look at it more closely, because what you hold is not just a 10-cent piece, it is a part of the American story preserved in copper and nickel. Thank you for joining me on this deep journey into the world of rare American coins and the story of the 1981 one-dime coin. If you found this video informative and engaging, make sure to like, subscribe, and share, so we can continue uncovering the amazing hidden stories behind coins that most people overlook. Until next time, keep searching your change and never underestimate the value of knowledge.